Good evening, everyone. We're truly glad to have you back with us tonight. The internet is a strange place, but the deep web, that's where things get truly disturbing. Tonight, you'll hear terrifying real-life stories about digital shadows, hidden networks, and the horrifying price of curiosity. Before we begin, what time is it where you're watching from right now? Let us know in the comments. Now turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and remember, you're watching Sleep Horror Stories. Hi, I'm Ethan, and even though I don't usually talk about this, I think it's something I need to get off my chest. What I'm about to tell you happened back in 2009 when I was 15 years old. It's not something I'm proud of, but it definitely changed my life in ways I never saw coming. I was always a curious kid. I liked poking around the internet, exploring things I probably shouldn't have. Not because I wanted to do anything wrong. I guess it was just the thrill of it. That's how I first heard about the deep web. The dark side of the internet where, supposedly, you could find anything. I wanted to see it for myself. After watching a few tutorials, I managed to install the Tor browser and access the deep web. It was slow, weird, and honestly terrifying. But it was also fascinating. I found forums, strange videos, and all kinds of disturbing things that gave me chills instantly. But like I said, curiosity always won. So I kept browsing, opening windows, jumping from one bizarre page to another. Eventually I got used to how slow it was. I'd open multiple pages and let them load while I looked at others. Everything was going fine until I noticed something strange. There was this one page I had opened and left sitting in the background. When I came back to it, it had a black background and lines of coded text changing rapidly, like it was decrypting something in real time. It creeped me out, so I tried to close it. That's when my computer froze. I tried to shut it down manually, but the screen went black and the whole thing powered off. My heart was pounding. I had no idea what just happened. I waited a few minutes and turned it back on. Everything looked normal, but I had a sinking feeling something was off. Still, I went back into the deep web. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe to prove it was nothing. I found the same page again, but this time there was no code. It was a countdown timer, and a question that sent chills down my spine. Vote for the next star of our upcoming video. Below there were 4 real addresses, and one of them was mine. I felt my blood run cold. They were playing some kind of twisted game, and I'd been dragged into it. They had hacked my computer. They had found out where I lived. And now, I was part of something I couldn't control. The countdown showed there were only 24 hours left to vote. I didn't know what to do. Call the cops? What would I even say? Hi, I went on the deep web, and now someone wants to kill me. Tell my parents? No way. They'd freak out and find out where I'd been online. So I did the worst thing I could have done. I waited. Every minute, the votes kept shifting. My address was in second place, getting closer and closer to first. I didn't sleep that night. I watched the countdown tick away, second by second. When it finally hit 0, the results came in. I was second. I exhaled in relief, until another message popped up underneath. Better luck next time. Non-winners will soon get another chance. That's when I realized I wasn't safe. I could be next. I tried tracing the winning address, looking for a name, a clue, but nothing came up. I tried accessing the live stream they hinted at. It was private. You needed cryptocurrency to view it. And I had no idea how any of that worked. I felt helpless. I spent nights checking the same site over and over, terrified my address would show up again. Weeks passed. I got paranoid. I felt like someone was following me. like I was being watched. My parents noticed something was wrong, but I never told them. They thought I was just going through a phase. One night, like many others, I tried visiting the page again, but this time, it was gone. Site not available. I didn't know whether to feel relieved or even more scared. Maybe it had been taken down. Maybe someone had caught them. But I never found out. Even if the site was gone, I knew someone out there still had my information. And they could be watching. Even now, years later, I still feel it. Like every time I go online, I'm taking a risk. All because of one thing. Curiosity. I've never been the kind of person who gets into trouble. I've always been quiet, kept to myself. But curiosity, that's one of those things that'll make you do stupid things you end up regretting. My name is David, and what I'm about to tell you, it's something that still haunts me to this day. This isn't a ghost story. There are no monsters. What happened to me was worse. It was 2011. I was 16, and like most teens, I spent way too much time online. I like digging into strange forums, conspiracy theories, weird videos, anything that gave me that feeling of discovering something I wasn't supposed to see. That's how I first got interested in the deep web. People said you could find things there that you'd never see anywhere else. From leaked government documents to way more disturbing stuff. It creeped me out, but I was hooked. After reading a bunch of guides, I installed the Tor browser and logged in. At first, it was nothing special. Just people talking about bizarre stuff, sketchy stores, and obvious scams. But after hours of digging, I came across a site called Lost Archives. It promised classified documents, things governments and corporations had erased from the public web. Without thinking twice, I downloaded a zip file named classified.zip. I expected dumb theories or some fake CIA nonsense. But when I opened it, my blood ran cold. There were dozens of files, encrypted reports, some in weird formats. But one of them stood out. It had a clear message inside. You're in now. And so are we. I thought it was a joke. Until my webcam turned on by itself. My screen went black. Then a line of text appeared. Say hi. We're watching. I couldn't breathe. I ripped the Ethernet cable out of the wall and shut the computer down. For hours, I scanned every file on my PC, disconnected every device in the house. Eventually, I convinced myself it was over. But the next day, things got worse. Everything seemed fine until I tried logging into my email. It was locked due to suspicious activity. I contacted support and got access back. That's when I found the message. It was from a random address, and it read, "We know everything about you." Attached was a list. Names of my family. Their addresses. Photos pulled from their social media. I felt sick. Like I was being suffocated. I closed the laptop and sat there in silence for what felt like hours. I didn't know whether to tell someone or pretend none of it was happening. But the messages kept coming. Worse each time. They started sending pictures of me, taken from angles that looked like they were using my own webcam. Messages like, "You owe us, David. $5,000, or your family pays instead." I changed my passwords. Deleted my social media. Nothing helped. They were still there. At one point, I was chatting with a friend, warning him about weird posts on my account, when suddenly, my screen filled with random messages. Ones I wasn't typing. It was like someone else had taken control. I felt trapped. I was terrified to turn my computer on, but I couldn't stop checking, hoping this would all just go away. One night, I was trying to sleep when I heard non-stop notifications. I checked my phone. Multiple emails, all from my own address. Subject line, "We know you're still there." Each one had a file attached. I didn't dare open them. I just shut my phone off and tried to ignore it. But I couldn't sleep. I started noticing strange things around me. My computer turning on by itself. Bank notifications about purchases I didn't make. Search history filled with things I never typed. I unplugged everything. Locked my devices in a drawer. But even when I logged in from public Wi-Fi, the messages followed me. Weeks went by. I was drowning in anxiety. I couldn't tell my parents. I was too ashamed to admit I'd gotten into something so dangerous, just because I was curious. Eventually, I decided to wipe my computer clean. I thought if I erased everything, maybe they'd lose access. But after I rebooted it, a new message appeared. Final warning. Pay your debt or face the consequences. That was the breaking point. I shut everything down. The site Lost Archives vanished a few weeks later. I tried going back to it, but it was gone. Just a blank error page. I deleted my email, all my social accounts, changed my phone number, and bought a new device. For a while, things got quiet. I avoided sketchy websites like the plague. But I never truly felt safe. Even now, whenever I get an email from a random address, I feel that same knot in my stomach. Years later, the paranoia hasn't gone away. The idea that someone could still have everything about me, that they could come back anytime, it terrifies me. All of it started because I clicked on something I shouldn't have. Because I thought it was just a file, just a game. But the deep web plays for keeps.